Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Jake Valancourt, a partner at 10X Engineered Materials, and I'm here with another partner and also our Director of Engineering at 10X Engineered Materials. Ed, why don't you introduce yourself?
Ed Schmidt, and you covered it with all those items that you provided right there. So I'm happy to be having a conversation with you this morning.
All right, Ed. Well, it's a cold day in February, just about everywhere in the country, and I'm sure our friends in Canada are even colder. So, might as well start making something interesting to listen to as we all stay inside and wish that we had better weather for outdoor blasting. What I wanted to talk with you about today, especially given that you are the real deal, you're an engineer. When we go to improve our process, or any company that is a factory making something wants to improve their process, a 5% improvement is usually exciting. 10, 15, 20, you go all the way out to 50% improvement, either in throughput or quality, or some combination there, or reducing costs per unit. I mean, those are massive, massive improvements. I'm used to seeing a spreadsheet that shows, all right, to get this little percentage, it's going to be X number of millions of dollars, right? A lot of capital equipment. Do you follow me?
Yep. Yeah, all right. I'm with you. As you get to be towards the top of your game, you're looking to wring out percentages, single-digit percentages, as opposed to making large leaps. I agree with that.
Right. So in the painting world and the blasting world, we have seen our customers improve over 50%. Right, we've been able to reduce their waste or their inefficiencies in terms of how many pounds are going to the landfill. Sometimes over 70%, even up to 80% in some cases. We've had doubling of speeds in some cases in terms of square foot per hour. We've even had people decide that the dust is so low that they don't need to build full containment now, or maybe they don't need to run as much dust collection, and they're looking at getting closer to that minimum spec instead of being way over it, just so that people can see. I mean, it's real measurable changes, and they're not single-digit percentage improvements. They're massive improvements. And what's interesting is none of those customers have had to make a capital investment. They're just buying a different product. So from the perspective of an engineer, how big is that news? I mean, wouldn't you think that would be kind of earth-shattering, industry shake-up type news, or what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, normally for processes, even for painting or blasting, to improve, you're going to have to make some sort of a investment. And with our material, you're making an investment as well. But being able to use a new material that provides double-digit improvements in efficiency or in cost savings, and just applying a different type of material to your existing processes, that is a very big opportunity for our customers, for folks that are using abrasives other than superoxalloys. They can approach a project and look at, here's what I was doing before with my previous abrasive, and here's where I'm going to be able to save cost, time, disposal, all of those items, and pretty quickly come to an understanding of how it's going to markedly improve their bottom line. And as you know, we've got a number of customers that have experienced that, and some that have even said, hey, this is new for our segment, and it's so new that it's a competitive advantage for us in bidding jobs. We're able to get a higher margin now and still be underneath our competition because our efficiencies and costs have improved so significantly with just this one change.
That's amazing. So if we go zoom out a little bit to painting and blasting company, or just a blasting company, it doesn't have to be a painter as well, but say you have a big project. Say, for example, you need to do a vessel, or you have a tower that you need to blast and repaint, and you need to get down to an SP5, okay? That's the spec because you're putting in some coating system with a really long warranty, and they need white metal. Well, we've had some customers tell us they can't even get white metal with their existing product. They can get really close to it, but they struggle to get inspectors to buy off on their finish. With a superoxalloy, I've had blasters tell me they can't believe it. Like, they drop the nozzle, take their hood off, and go look at it, even under a microscope sometimes. They're like, what? how are they going from swipes 2, 3, 4 times over to get to a near white, and now one pass, and they've got an SP5 finish with the Superoxalloy product? I mean, that's another big benefit that I think a lot of folks are really just floored by. I mean, what do you think is so different about our product that gets us that result?
So in the way that it's manufactured, where you do not have fracture planes in the particles, you then have a stronger particle. That stronger particle is able to deliver the energy that is developed through the system, through the compression of air, and carried all the way through the nozzle to project those particles at the surface. Once it hits the surface without a fracture plane or defect in those particles, you don't have breakage. So the reduction in breakage of particles is a reduction in dust, and it's also a reduction in embedment. That reduction in embedment really presents a quickly achievable SP10 or SP5 surface for folks that need to get to that level. And to your point, yes, if there are folks that are trying to, just do a brush blast, oftentimes when we're doing comparisons against brush blast, you still end up with an SP10 when the operators move in the blast nozzle as quickly as they can. So it shows very, very high quality finish when you're using a superoxalloy to blast and need to hit those cleaner surfaces for the job that you're working on.
Oh man, it's amazing. I mean, I love my role with the company. I mean, we're bringing the product to people where we're not just here to run a business. We're here to show them how they can improve their business, and it's a massive, massive improvement. And this is one of those key features or benefits that people just really connect with. So that's just an awesome explanation to better understand that. Now, in the couple of minutes we have left, I know it's cold and everybody needs to get back to work, but we all are kind of inside, right? It's early February. So circling back, say I'm a project manager. I want to try superoxalloy, but I've never done it before. Maybe I don't have quite the right metering valves, and my crew is used to running, really rich. What are the steps I need to take? Like what's the process to go through if I want to reach out to 10X and just try it on a job? What would I do, and how would I do it?
That's a great question, and the amount of support that we provide in those situations is unmatched. We have a blasting and startup guide where some folks would say, "Hey, I've been blasting for years. I don't need instructions on how to start up." But all products have a performance recommendation in order to achieve the expected outcome. So we provide that information of how to get a system dialed in, what the recommended pressures are to operate at, what the proper equipment is for metering, and why that's specifically important for our material is that you're going to be able to get more work done with less abrasive. So you want to make sure that you're able to meter it at the levels necessary to see that benefit. So if you're converting over from a system where you're using slags currently and folks are always running the metering valves, nearly wide open, there's going to be an initial training process or an initial adjustment process where we start out dialing it in just like it's the first day operating the piece of equipment. We're going to lower it all the way down. We're going to make sure the pressures are right. And this is support that we're able to provide with either folks on site or to the people that we're working through. We've done it via video before, really helping the operators get dialed in and know that they're using the right amount of material to get the most efficient blast pattern that they can and really see the benefits of low dust, higher productivity, lower material usage, and greater speed.
Awesome. So one thing I heard you kind of explain is it seems like the expectations that the operators, the pot tenders, the blasters have need to be reset. So maybe explaining how different this is and how we get that different result, resetting their expectations to what's possible from an abrasive. Sounds like that's part of it. And then from there, it's just hey, let's show you what it could do. I mean, it seems simple to me. It doesn't sound like a big burden. Do you think that in terms of a project impact that the savings you could get in time will at least be a break even on a first trial? Say you're going to use it over a whole project, that's large enough. What are your thoughts on that? Or should it be a really big project because it takes a while to get that ROI?
I would say that the experience that we've had with customers is that it's better than a break even on a first project. If folks are open to making the changes that are recommended and then blasting to what's capable or what's possible, it has very strong economics on a first case. It's not like there's a really long learning curve. For example, a crew that was doing a water tower job had always blasted with coal slag up to the point that they committed a job to use kinetics. And within the first day, there was an understanding that the compressor that they had gotten was not able to produce the right pressure. And when that was swapped out by the rental company, the second day, with that new compressor, they said, we're putting up half as much abrasive, we're getting more done, we can see inside the tank, and we're seeing all of the benefits that you described, and the metering valve settings were much lower than what they were used to running at. And we got that same feedback at the end of the job. It carried throughout the entire job. Got a call from the foreman, said I was able to get the tank cleaned out in less time, half as much time. We only had to have one truck come in to do a vac out in order to pull out the spent abrasive. And on a single-use job, a premium abrasive still paid out and was of financial benefit to them. They did better on that job than they would have with slag.
That's awesome. So even on a shorter duration job, it's possible to get a time savings and an overall lower cost than running the way that we're used to running, right? Just continuing the status quo. That's pretty amazing. A lot of products take some serious training before you can get the benefit out of it, if you can even get the benefit out of it, depending on the skills that the operators have. So that's just, I mean, as far as project manager perspective goes, I feel like that's a no-brainer. It's just a home run, and give it a try. So if somebody wants to take the first step, what should they do? Go to our website? Where would you point them?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's information on our website that will give just which type of abrasive they would want to pick, which product. For some of the jobs that we've been talking about, the larger ones, they're going to focus on kinetics. And then following that, a call into our corporate office is going to get them connected with the right person to provide startup guidance and, if necessary, on-site support. So we're going to make sure that folks understand what it is that they are switching over to, how to ensure that that's efficiently used, and set the expectations of what it is that they should be able to realize as savings on their project. And from there, it's just, making the purchase. We have the material in stock and moving forward and experiencing the savings.
You guys are making it so easy, Ed. I love it. Well, hey, we're almost at our time. Thanks for hopping on the phone with me this morning. Hopefully we're going to help somebody in the country or up in Canada feel a little bit warmer today. And I wish everybody a happy Friday.
Great. Thanks.